us to the next topic. So we heard now about the potential of streaming platforms, but there is another important online tool which is out there for musicians to be used, and it's social media. So before introducing the next speakers, I would like to ask you some questions. And Zoom is kindly providing a nice tool, the poll tool, so we can quickly check which are the tendencies in this audience today regarding social media. So you will see now the first question to you, and you can answer. Do you use social media in your private life? Please answer. %60 of people voted, 65, 70. Okay, and the poll. So we see that 88% of the audience present today uses social media for their private life, and only 12% don't. Then, second question for you.
Excuse me, not for private life, but in private life. Because there are different kinds of social media, and I think your question was about the use when we are home, not doing our job.
Exactly, when you are home, yes. Because the second question is about the use of social media in your professional life. Who's using social media in professional life? Mm-hmm. 85% voted. Okay, 88. Okay, now end the poll. Share the results. We see that actually there is a good percentage that also uses social media in a professional life, but a bigger percentage.
Less, it's less, you know.
It's less, yes, but it's still more yes than no. So it's good. Let's go to the next question. Do you have a social media strategy to promote your job as a musician? %65 voted, 76, 79, 82. Okay, and the poll. And we see that only 29% declare to have a strategy, 71 doesn't have a strategy. Okay, and now, final question, and then we give the word to the speaker. Which social media do you think are the most relevant for a musician today? I see you are reflecting a bit more. Of course, this requires some thinking. 66%.
Two options.
It's too many options, yes. Okay, I can now stop and share the results. So you see, YouTube is considered the most relevant when we have Facebook, then Instagram, others, you see, and SoundCloud. Okay, thank you for sharing your experience and your knowledge with us. I would like now to present the next speaker, Rocío Garcialonso, who is a Mexican citizen living in Madrid. She's a real living example of a successful young female leader and entrepreneur. She's the founder of Fortissimo Media, and she works for these companies, cultural associations, opera singers, and she does for them. She's for them a consultant for digital content and communication manager. I now leave the floor to Rocío.
Thank you, Sarah. Hi, everyone. Hopefully everyone is listening to me well. I'm just going to share my screen very, very fast. Okay, perfect. Thank you for the brief introduction. I'm very happy to be here. I have been listening to many presentations about leadership and entrepreneur. And before I start to give these tips to develop your social media strategy, I would like to introduce some personal story about me. As Sarah said, I was born in Mexico, and it's very strange, but I'm not a musician. My whole life, I have been studying communication and working. I started at Viacom. It's the company that has Nickelodeon, MTV, VH1, Comedy Central. And it was my life for 2 years as corporate communication. But I wanted to be involved in performing arts. And even though I'm not a musician, I discovered the master at La Scala. I don't know if any one of you know it, but it's the master in performing arts. So I quit my life in Mexico and started a new one in Milan. And there I studied for 1 year and had an internship at the Teatro Real. And then I went to Vienna to work as a personal assistant to Juan Diego Flores. So I'm very privileged to combine my profession, that it's communication and social media, with my passion, that is opera and performing arts. And since the beginning of this year, with my colleague Fran Parrado, he's a violinist, we decided to open the agency Fortissimo Media. And in these few months, we have been helping opera singers, conductors, dance companies, young musicians, and everyone involved in the performing arts to develop their digital strategy. Because when I speak with a client, the first thing I said is, if you have social media as a young musician, you need to start thinking it as a professional one, to create all the text and all the photos, not for a personal. I know it works. I know that Facebook and Instagram and all the social media channels work as a personal to share your life, but it's professional, and especially if you in the future would like to become an artist. So in these years of my experience, I resume like 5 tips to develop the digital strategy. And the first one will be personal branding. As a musician, as a singer, as someone involved in the performing arts, we usually don't develop ourselves as a brand, like a big company. So I have some task, like a homework for you. You need to think which values do you want to present, not to the public, but to anyone. Like, which words will be the best one to describe yourself as an artist. This is not a very easy task, so maybe you can sleep at night and think about it later. But that is the base to develop your personal branding. There's a quote of the CEO of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, that defines it perfectly. The brand is what people say about you. We're not in the room. So you can change what people say about you if you present your way just to have your values and the words to present to the world. As an example, the pianist Lang Lang, maybe he's very professional, but he uses that to the audience. He never dresses the same when he performs in China than in Europe or in America. He's very sober with his style when he performs in Europe. Or maybe we can start speaking about Julia Wang. I'm not talking about her artistry as a pianist, but the costumes. She knows the public will identify her as an artist. So she uses very colorful or very short dresses. Another example is the American mezzo-soprano Joyce Leonardo. I think most of you know her. And she has a very strong personal image or brand about her. She, behind every project she makes, she's very solidarity, very human. For every CD or every concert she makes, she presents herself this way. So it doesn't matter if you're a young musician, but if you start thinking it from day one, in the future, you will have a core and a good brand identity. These questions are maybe for your students, if you would like to have a class in the future of social media. I will put them as well in the chat. So identify your values, or maybe 5 keywords that define yourself as an artist, and the highlights or elements that you want to highlight of your personality. The second tip about developing your social media strategy is content. In the US, they say that content is the king, and it is true, because if we follow someone on social media, it's because maybe we laugh about the content, or maybe it's because it inspires us. So why not having the same to our followers, to really post something with, of course, high quality pictures and videos, but with a text that has this storytelling behind it. I have a few programs for the content calendar. In the world of communication, we need to plan every event of our calendar to, of course, to communicate it better. So there are programs like Hootsuite or Facebook Creator to have this digital agenda and to make it easier when posting an event. If a musician has a concert in the middle of February, we can start thinking of which day is better to post something and to plan. This is the first point of communication. And also, I included this dedication because it's not the same to post just once every month. And if we go to vacations on summer, I would post. Social media, it plays with rules. So we need to be consistent, and we need to just think maybe Monday morning what we want to publish. Maybe it's easier with our clients because they have this big agenda, but it doesn't matter if you're just a student, because you have a whole universe of music or birthday of composers, or what are you studying, or maybe you would like to share a video of your favorite singer. So mark your calendars. And I also made this another question, like, and please list like 3 to 5 topics on your agenda that you could speak about. Maybe you don't have that much performances to have your profile on Opera Base, or you don't have a lot of photos and videos yet to develop a website, but maybe in the future. But if you list all these topics, at the end you will have 2 posts per week. So 8 at the end of the month. The third point I would like to speak about is reputation. I always said this example. I don't want to name any names, but there is a famous opera singer that she went to politic meeting a few years ago, and she had photos with this politician. So the whole nation was against her, and she had to close her social media for 1 year because all the haters and all the negative comments she was receiving. And she's, let's say, one of the top 5 in the world. So it maybe it's a tweet you say one day, or maybe it's a photo, but you need to really think of what are you posting online. Yes, you can delete it, but it's your digital stamp that you leave. And this singer, she had like a sponsor contract with an airline, and the airline had to cancel it because at the end of the day, it will be a bad reputation for the company. So if we have this in mind, we will take care of it. And there's a quote I really like about Warren Buffett. That's another American empresario. And he said, it takes 20 years to build a reputation, but only 5 minutes to ruin it. But if we think about this way, we will do things differently. And I couldn't agree more. So with ourselves, with our students, and yeah, with my clients, we think about every post. It doesn't matter if it's just one tweet or just one photo, but to think about social media as a professional channel, a professional platform, to not to have the objective and in mind that theaters would hire us, but to take care of our image and as our artistry as musicians. The fourth point I would like to talk about is community, because social media is not just one way communication, it's two ways. You create content and you post your videos, rehearsing and all the posts, but you have followers again. And it's not an egocentric platform, but you could really find interesting people or other social media accounts that have your same values. I want to put the example of Juvenilia. I don't know if any one of you knows it, but it's the European network of young opera friends. I also do the communication for them. And it began in '98 at the Salzburg Festival, but now we have more than 600 members from every European youth club. And before COVID, of course, we had one event per month, and we attended an opera house and went to a restaurant or more concerts. But at the end of the day, we connected through internet and through social media. So it was amazing to go to a Juvenile event and then connect with all of these young friends through internet. Another example is Opera School. This is it started as a personal blog, but now it's an Instagram account with more than 7,000 followers. And I started this just to talk about my passion, that is opera and performing arts. But now I'm really surprised that it grows so fast, and I have the amazing opportunity to have interview singers like Javier Camarena or the Mexican tenor Ramon Vargas. And as I said before, it's just not one-way communication, but people have wrote me privately to collaborate and to have other content for other accounts. And this is the beautiful power of internet and social media. And the last like real life case, when I was working with Peruvian tenor Juan Diego Flores as his personal assistant, we made this music video of the Mexican song México lindo y querido, because in 2017 there was a terrible earthquake in Mexico City that left many or thousands of people without their homes. And he decided to help with music, but it was not just only a YouTube video to have views or followers. It was to really help Mexican people with his music. And it was beautiful because 2 months later, we went to Sala Nezahualcóyotl, a venue in Mexico, and he offered a concert, and all the revenues went to the people that lost their houses. So what I say about this is, if you're a musician, an artist, you would use these digital tools to help and to connect and to create a community, and yes, to gain followers, but at the end we're doing well in the world. These questions are for later. So what do you think your audience like to do? You need to define which is your audience, and you can have a quick look at your followers. Also, if you want to reach to another certain group of people, what content do you think would like them? And the last point is creativity. I think we're very blessed to work in the music world and all the humanities, and we have this advantage of creativity. So if we think to create a post, we already have this imagination. So when developing your digital strategy, you need to promote yourself as an artist and create amazing content and be true to your followers or to your fans, but also represent your values and have a consistency. And it's not another point, but I always said the time management. So I'm the first fan of social media because I use it. It's my job and it's my life, but you need to think just to have it. It's not your whole world. It's not a 24/7 thing. So maybe you can work at the morning, but also have the time to rehearse, to perform, to study, because that is the majority of the time spent for an artist. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can see me. Yes. And I was looking at the questions on the chat because I
yes. Yes, thank you, Rocío, for your presentation. Now we give the floor to the audience to ask questions. So Esther Viñuela has a question for you.
Hi, Esther.
Hi, Rocío. How are you?
How are you?
Nice to see you here. I'm going to bring a question that I think is, we are now in a moment where everybody posts content everywhere, and it's like it's massive. How can we create like striking content? What are your advices for us to do a good content, but not only to do a good content, but also maybe when to post it, or what strategy to really push it through? That of course I understand that Facebook ads plus, so like what everything together, how would you put it?
There are two ways on social media: the organic way, that is without paying, and like you said, the Facebook ads. And that's not easier, but if you invest and earn money, maybe you will get more followers. But about the content, and I always develop organic content, not paid, is to be unique and to not copy others. There was one example at when we were in quarantine. I don't remember if it was in Italy or in Spain, but this opera singer was in his balcony and he started like singing opera. And then I saw like 1,000 videos like replicating singing at the balconies. And at the second one, you don't see it that way. So be unique and don't copy others. And the best high quality photos and videos. Each social media has their own rules. So it's not the same to publish something on Facebook than on Instagram, than on YouTube or Twitter. So there are some type of guidelines for every social media. And I recommend to read these guidelines. They're free. Maybe I can share on the chat, the Facebook guidelines. And with this like technical instructions, you will have a better position on your post. And I think on Instagram, there is this thing called insights, and they tell you which is the best timing for your post. It depends on your followers and your posting. So every account is different.
Great. Maybe it would be interesting to give some basics for our students about how to create this basic, beautiful content. I don't know.
Sometimes
reflect.
With I don't want to say names, but there's this client, and he writes like 5 pages for every post, and it's not possible because Instagram only has, I think, 2,000 characters. So and people don't read a lot now. It's quick videos like Instagram Reels, the competition of TikTok, and yeah, it's very fashion to post videos and images with brief text, not 5 pages. So yeah.
Thanks. This guideline would be very useful because some of the people here will teach in some entrepreneurship courses to their students. So any tips and tricks are very welcome. So we have a question from Sarah Meltzer from Israel.
Yeah, so thank you first of all very much for this very nice presentation, very inspiring. Is this a strategy that can be, let's say, used, okay? It is a good step for an art institution and not for like individual artists, like to take something like global and to use this formula, let's say, in order to promote and in order to target audience, if it's students or let's say for fundraising.
Yeah, thank you for your question. For me, it's the same, but when we talk about fundraising, we can start talking about all the paid posts, because you will increase your audience and your target, and at the end you need to get some money. When we start thinking about arts institutions, musicians, singers, they are not, I think, in my personal perspective, they're not responsible of selling tickets. But when you're a theater or when you're the department of fundraising, you need to think about digital marketing and paid posts. I don't know if I answer your question.
Yeah, no, but I was asking if an art institution, let's say an academy like the one that I'm working in, yeah, can we use part of this or some guidance from this strategy in order to promote ourselves, to target audience and students?
Yeah, of course, because at the end, all the social media works the same way. Facebook has these guidelines, and you need to play Facebook's games to position yourself. And yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a student of your school or if you're administrating the school's page.
Thank you.
And now we have a question from Michelangelo.
Hello, Rocío. Thank you for your presentation. Really inspiring. I have this personal shocking experience with my little daughter, and she posted a video not related to music on TikTok, and she realized 300,000 visualization in 2 weeks. And I asked her, how could you do this? It's incredible. And she said, but you are old. She told me you are dead. You are already dead and you don't know this. And I said, yes, but what are the difference between a language that you are using? But you don't know these things. I don't want to talk with you. So we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have TikTok. Can you tell us more about the differences and which different language you should use in each different social media?
Thank you. Like, as you said, it's a different language for every social media platform. The thing with TikTok, and it has billions of followers at this moment, is that when you post a small video on TikTok, the company doesn't have any filters. So if you include a hashtag, let's say like dancing in my room, it automatically goes in the first position. But with other social medias like Instagram or Facebook, the algorithm is different. So you will never be on top until you pay, or if you have a lot of followers. But TikTok now it's more natural, I think. So maybe that's the reason why your daughter has many views. But it's a weird social media, and for musicians, it will be Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. In my opinion, like the three you need to explode. Yes, TikTok is for young people, and I saw the other day that Royal Opera House opened their account. But if you don't know how to edit videos with good quality and with music and with colors, don't use it, because it's better not to have a social media than to have one and use it poorly. That's what I say. And it doesn't matter if it has like billion followers, but just have a good YouTube channel that is music, and it's like an archive of your artistry. I don't know if I responded to your question.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Also, Payam has a question.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh. Yes. There is a bit of a echo.
Yeah, because we joined from the same room. Thank you for the presentation very much. And I agree with Michelangelo that my daughter does the same thing to me. And I thought that I'm a musician. So when I share the upcoming concerts or my festivals or flyers and informations in a cool way, which I think, and she says, you know, Mom, you don't do it like this, and it's still old fashioned, and you know, you have to be a little bit cool about it. But then I ask myself, how did the young generation learn about all of this practicality, which basically they kind of know in an organic way how to use the social media? Because I look at my students that I teach entrepreneurship, they do promote themselves when they make a new video with their singing or playing in a way that they don't get the advice or professional help to do all of this. In a way, somehow they manage. I mean, not all, but you know what I mean? Like, I think it's a big clash between our generation, or so-called like older people, or people who, like they say the Facebook is for old people and Instagram is for the young people. That's what my daughter says, for example. But then a lot of the people use Facebook for their professional information, as well as Instagram. I'm a big social media person. My husband and I would clash on this because I am constantly posting things on Facebook, on Instagram, but then I get the benefit of it. I believe in it. So I guess my question is, what do you think on this, you know, note, let's say?
I think we have this. Thank you. I think we have this generational battle. I started using social media when I was 14, 15, and using MySpace. I don't know if any one of you knows this social media. It's an American way, but many years ago. So I think, 15 years ago, I started using this language. But with the generation of my older one, like with my parents, they have no idea on how to use it. And the algorithm changes every year or every time. So maybe we think by posting a photo with a lot of text, it will attract a lot of audience to our concerts. But Facebook doesn't work that way. If you post a picture, you don't need to use any text, and to be very, very simple and very minimalist. So maybe that is the issue between generations, and the smaller ones, they were born with technology. So of course they know how to use TikTok very, very fast and to edit videos. And for me, for the past 15 years, I have been using technology and social media, and really it cost me to to use Reels on Instagram and to use TikTok. So I think we need to step up our game, but always following the guidelines on social media. And maybe your daughter or persons that use TikTok doesn't have this objective of showing their artistry or developing their personal brand. They're just using TikTok for fun, and we need to develop a digital strategy to use it for professional reasons, I think.
Yeah. So thanks God, now there is also literature developed on these things. So to avoid that your daughters tell you that you are dinosaurs, you can study these guidelines. We have the link that Rocío posted in the chat. And also during her presentation, actually, she shared some questions with you could use in your classes with your students. And I have them in a slide that I want to show you as, let's say, a summary. And then if you see it, so there are some examples of assignment, for example, for students to reflect on the use of social media for the professional presence on social media. So these questions have been presented already by Rocío during her presentation, during the 5 steps. So these questions correspond to the 5 steps she proposed. We'll put the presentation mode so you see them better. Voila. So identify your values. Which words would you use to describe yourself? Make a list of 3-5 topics to create your first calendar content. What does your target audience like to do? What kind of content does your audience tend to engage with?
I love this last question, Sarah, about the audience. I never listen my students to speak about the audience. Did the audience like my concert apart from the applause? Did the audience?
And indeed, they should ask themselves these questions. So you could use these questions in your classes about entrepreneurship and in your module, if you have a module about social media. It's just questions for reflections. You can reflect on them yourself as well for your life as musicians, if you also are active as performer. And you have these questions posted in the program of the training in the abstract corresponding to the sessions by Rocío. Okay.
I also sent the PDF presentation.
Your presentation.
Yeah. If anyone wants to download it.
Yeah, I will now download it. And all the presentations of the sessions will be posted in the photos and documents section of the webpage of this online training. Okay. That's perfect. So I think we are at the end of this session. Thank you very much for attending. Thanks to Rocío for a presentation. Thanks to the audience for the contribution, and we see each other tomorrow morning, always at 11. Remember that those who are attending this training regularly, we receive a certification at the end of the training. Thank you very much and enjoy your evening. See you tomorrow.